Okay, so this is the final session. So the user stories, when you define a user story, you're going to write user stories all the time. I don't care. I mean, like when it comes to UX design, typically there may be slight variations depending on what company you go to, but the user story is always formatted the same. It's definitely going to be on your it's definitely going to be on your certification exam, and you need to know the structure. And this is the structure. So you always say, as type of user, you're going to fill in the blank. I want to, whatever the action is, so that whatever the benefit is. So that's the template you use as a UX designer when you're writing user stories. So the user story is a one sentence narrative told from the persona's perspective. So it's told from Kim's perspective, who the user is, what they want to do, and why they want to do it. So when we go back at this persona, Kim is a middle-aged woman. I'm sorry, yeah, this is the persona. Kim is a middle-aged woman with a busy schedule, juggling her job and her kids' after-school programs. She is looking to get back into investing time in herself, but is limited on time and always on the go. She enjoys fitness services that allow her to work at her own pace and are easy to book, schedule, and stay connected with her trainer, right? That's the persona. So what is this persona's user story? It translates to this: as type of user, a busy career mom. I want to action, we fill it in. I want to sign up for personal training services and track my progress easily so that, what's the benefit? So that I can feel connected to my trainer and feel like I can take care of myself with the little time I have. Right? So for every project, for every product, whatever you're designing for, this is how you formulate a user story. As type of user, I want to action so that benefit. It's definitely more than likely an exam question. Now the user journeys. A user journey is a user journey is a series of experiences that the user has as they try to achieve their goal. It might be an experience they have with the product that's being designed, an experience they have with a similar product, or an experience they have in the absence of those products. Design at least two journeys for each persona, possible paths they may take using the app or device. So that's what I was going over when I was talking about the journey. So that your Figma user path or user journey, user flow, that's a journey. So typically what happens, I'm trying to get back to where it was. I think I need to consolidate this back to one screen again. Wait, give me 1 second. I got too many screens. It's starting to get confusing. I'm going to consolidate them. So give me, where's your Figma window? Okay. I think it should be, I should stop getting lost now. Give me 1 second. Pop this one down. Okay, let me come back. Okay, can you guys see my screen again?
Yeah.
All right,
No,
so, oh, you don't see it yet, Janella?
no, but it might be my computer, my signal. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. Well, just visualize the user flow that Angela created and that you both created. You created your user flow, she created her user flow. The user flows that you created last week, those are user journeys, right? So we were hypothetically coming up with user journeys. The user journey is what path you think they'll take. So what's your hypothetical? My hypothetical is a person who's not a user, they're going to go to the website, they're going to choose to select the option of the non-member area, right? And then they're going to see the member page. And from the member page, I think they're going to want to know what we offer. And then they're going to look at Embody, personal training, health assessment. They're going to book a service and they're going to check out. Now, your user journey, you want to have what's the objective? Now, in this example, we were saying that they wanted to sign up for Embody assessment. So our user journey should kind of follow the path of what path do we think they're going to take to sign up for the Embody? Do we think they're going to look at the About Us page first? Do you think they're going to look at do you think they're going to try to contact us first? Do you think they're going to look at testimonials first? And here's the thing, you have to map out if they take any of these journeys, how do they end up here? So if a person comes to our site and they see the welcome product or overview, and then they have the option to continue with the member experience or the non-member experience. If they come over here to the non-member experience, if they do happen to go to the testimonial page, and if our ultimate goal is to get them to book an Embody assessment, if that's the ultimate objective, then every possible path, all roads need to lead to Rome. So every possible path needs to lead to where we want them to go. So there should be a link to or a call out to book an Embody assessment no matter where they land. So maybe when they get to the testimonials, maybe we need to have arrows. So what's the number one? That's another reason why when we were in the define phase, we had to narrow down what's our single focus. So is our single focus Embody or just any service? I feel like our single focus is for her to book a service. So maybe our roles need to lead back to the what we offer page, right? So if she comes here and she's like, oh, let me check out testimonials, maybe you want to have a call out or a card on this view that says book a service with us now, right? That's going to lead her right back to here so she can book a service. If she lands on the About Us page, maybe there still needs to be a banner on the About Us page that says, make sure you book a service with us that leads her here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
A user journey is a series of experience. So you see how it says series of experiences? And the user journey also takes into account where they're coming from. So say, for example, if you were running an Instagram ad, did they come from the Instagram ad and what did the Instagram ad say? So like if you were running an Instagram ad and the Instagram ad said, book now and receive 20% off of our membership services, the landing page needs to be congruent with that 20% off offer because that's part of their journey, right? So taking all of that into consideration, you want to design at least 2 journeys for each persona, possible paths they may take using the app or device, or where they may actually be coming from. The problem statement is similar to the user statement, but from the designer's perspective, and it's more detailed. So the problem statement template is like this. Name of user persona is a blank who needs type of experience because of this benefit. So when we go back to our problem statement and we update it to make sure that it falls within the guidelines of our design thinking framework that we're following, it's going to say Kim is a middle-aged, busy career mom who needs personal training services that are easy to book, connect with her trainer and track her progress and work at her own pace because what's the benefit? Because she wants to take care of herself within the limited time that she has. So you definitely need to, so these are templates that you need to memorize. The problem statement template is a template that you have to memorize. I posted in a document.
And when we make like the problem statement, we're just making it up.
Yeah, after you create the persona.
Okay. And then we just make up the persona too.
Yeah. You don't just make it up. The persona is based on, because remember, every step builds on the previous step. So what were the previous steps before we got to that? Before we even got to that, we did the interviews.
I mean, I'm sorry. I meant we make up the persona after we did all the other legwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, let's go back. Yeah. So remember, so we were like, so phase one of empathy. So in the empathy phase, we did the questionnaires. Remember, we went through that whole process of how we conduct the questionnaires. Um, we make sure that the way that we pursue with the questionnaires is in consideration of the user, I'm sorry, the business requirements. So how much time do we have and what's the budget? We make sure that after we comb through all of the data, we can add, we have to create an empathy map. So after you collect all of the data, you want to create an empathy map. And the empathy map is going to answer these 5 questions. And then from there, you create a persona. It's a fictional character who represents groups of similar users. You know, who's typically gonna be using this app. And then from there, you define a user story. You have to follow that template, right? So this is the template for the user story. It's too big. And then you also want the problem statement template. You need to memorize that too. Because that's universal. So that's a universal UX designer thing. So when you go to different companies and corporations, everybody, that's the way everyone should be structuring their user story and their problem statement. So I'll copy that. You guys have any questions so far?
No.
Nope.
Okay. So what's your persona, Janella? Create a persona for your for
Uh,
your landscape company.
Jim is
No, you gotta follow the format.
landscaping.
No, so this is the format right here. So it has to be
Okay.
this format. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Okay, you were right. Go ahead. Your persona. Develop your persona.
Okay. Jim is a single father
Mm-hmm.
who is an entrepreneur and doesn't have time to maintain his own lawn
Mm-hmm.
and needs someone to help him so that his home looks nice and his yard looks nice.
Okay. And then translate that into a user story.
Okay. So as a single father, as a single busy entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
no, as a single busy father and entrepreneur, I want to
Mm-hmm.
beautify my lawn so that I have more time to spend with my family.
Okay.
in my business and on my business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, the beautify my lawn is the benefit that goes along with spending more time with the family. The action
Okay.
is the online action they want to be able to take with ease.
Okay. I want to access, I guess, landscapers or, a
So
company who can maintain my lawn.
what's the call to action? Is it to sign up? Is it to order a service? Is it to book a service? What's the call to
Uh,
action?
I I would like to book landscapers
Mm-hmm.
to maintain my lawn
Mm-hmm.
so that I can beautify my yard and have more time to spend with my family and work on my business.
Yeah. Yeah. So as a busy entrepreneur, I want to book I want to book landscaping services easily and schedule the time for the service with ease. So your I want to part is like your technical, your want to is the technical cue for the developer. So always state your want to as a CTA. So my want to sign up for personal training services and track my progress easily. Those are features. I can sign up and I can track. You see what I'm saying? So your I want to
Right.
statement needs to be the call to action and then the additional features of the application. So restate that as a call to action and the features, the booking features that are going to be listed on the application. Because that he should be able to schedule his
As a
time.
busy,
Mm-hmm.
as a busy single father and entrepreneur, I
Mm-hmm.
want to book
Mm-hmm.
and schedule landscaping services with
Mm-hmm.
ease
Mm-hmm.
so that I can beautify my yard and spend more time with my family and working on my business.
Yep. That's how you form it. And then we talked about the journey. How would you create your problem statement?
So the problem is that um, Jim, or did I say his name was Jim? Yeah, Jim. Jim is a single father and entrepreneur who needs help maintaining his lawn and booking services or booking landscapers because he does not have much time to maintain his lawn himself.
Say it one more time. I know you
Okay.
don't remember what you said.
I'm not gonna remember that. Okay.
But it doesn't have to
Jim.
be exactly the same way. Just hit all the points.
Jim is a single father and entrepreneur who needs help maintaining his lawn and booking services or booking landscapers so that or because he wants to be able to spend more time with his family and working on his business as well as beautifying his lawn or yard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, what's his name? Jim.
Jim,
Jim is a busy entrepreneur who needs lawn care services that are easy to book so that he can spend more time with his family and business. Mm-hmm. So the ideate phase is the process of getting creative and brainstorming lots of possible solutions. It's a non-judgment zone. for out of the box, unexpected solutions. It's a collaborative effort. So, like I was saying earlier, once we move into the ideate phase, it's all about just brainstorming. There are no bad ideas. We're just throwing everything at the wall. So we suspend assumptions, preconceptions, and judgments. They're not allowed. No assumptions allowed, no preconceptions allowed, no judgments allowed. We want to make sure that we propose and consider as many alternatives as possible without without the evaluation of without evaluating or selecting anyone. That's what that should be. So during the first phase, like we're not kind of shooting things down, or we're just letting it flow. It's just say it, just get it out. And then the evaluation comes later on in the process when we start to kind of just like look at our brainstorm and pull stuff out so that we can move into prototyping. But initially, like that first phase is just throw it all out there, get it all out. Throw out all your ideas without any pushback. So when we brainstorm, when we ideate solutions, the ideation, right? When we ideate solutions, we have some common brainstorming techniques. So one brainstorming technique is called how might we? So in this brainstorming exercise, designers take a problem statement from the define phase and turn it into a list of questions that start with how might we? Or HMW. So you may see, what are HMW questions, or what's the HMW brainstorming technique? How might we questions help designers reframe their problems as exciting opportunities for solutions? For example, recall the problem statement that you explored in the previous reading, defining a user needs. So back to our problem statement. Kim is a middle-aged, busy career mom who needs personal training services that are easy to book, connect with her trainer, and track her progress and work at her own pace because she wants to take care of herself within the limited time she has. So how might we make the online booking process fast? How might we? So let's talk about it. How might we make this online booking process fast for her?
The 2-click rule,
The 2-click rule. Yeah. So what does that look
trying to
like?
make sure, yeah, trying to
And
make
how,
sure things are accessible quickly and easily.
yeah. How else might we make this online booking process fast for her, Angela?
Um, Booking can be available as soon as she opens the website.
Yes. How else might we?
If she already booked, all her credit card information can be saved.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have to enter all the information again.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me write down these. How might we brainstorm solutions? I'm gonna put it down here. So how might we brainstorming technique? Okay. So let me see. How might we make the online booking process fast? All right, so you guys said that we can follow the 2-click rule, which I love, meaning that she shouldn't have to click more than 2 times to book. We said that it should be the first thing she sees is what Angela said, first thing she sees. When do you think it should be the first thing she sees when we land on the page or when she clicks on the book service? When she lands on the site or when she clicks into it? Which one were you referencing, Angela?
As soon as she lands on the site.
Okay, first thing she see when she lands on the site. What else did we
Well,
say?
well, I don't want it to be the first thing she sees. I want it to be there, kind of like floating on the side or something.
Like
So
a
that,
pop-up
yeah,
or a
I mean,
modal, a floating modal?
yeah,
Okay,
because I still want her to see the welcome page and all the other stuff.
okay. What else did you say? What else did we say? Follow the two-click rule. First thing she sees when she lands on the site. You guys said some other good stuff. What else was it?
Retaining the information that she's returning.
Oh yeah, auto populate form. That's an excellent one. They're all excellent because this is the brainstorming phase. Auto populate the form. What else? I think another thing we can do is limit how many questions we ask. You know what I mean? We don't have to ask a lot of unnecessary questions to make the form quicker. Yeah. What else?
Um, hmm, I
We
think
can
that's
move.
it.
We can move on and come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Our other how might we question is how might we make online communication with her trainer feel personable and easy? How might we? How might we?
Make it feel personable and easy.
Mm-hmm. What's some cool features that may make it feel personable and
She can
easy?
change her profile like the skins.
No, is
Oh, thank you.
how might we make the online communication with her trainer? How might we make the online communication with her trainer feel
Um,
personable and easy?
Video chat.
Yeah, video chats. That's a good idea. What else? Maybe we can have like an embedded messenger button where she can instantly message him from inside the chat. I mean, from inside the member area.
yeah.
Embedded messenger. What else? Oh, I see what you were saying, Angela. When you were saying make it feel personable, she can personalize her member area. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Mhm. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm. Personalize her member area. What else? How can we make communicating with her trainer easy? We can provide a form for when he's not there.
Oh yeah, like a contact form, an email.
Mm-hmm. Provide a contact your trainer form. What else can make it feel easy to communicate with her trainer online? Video chats, embed messenger, personalize the member area, provide a contact, your trainer. We can kind of have something that provides notifications when the trainer has responded to her. You know how you log in and you see like a little red bubble, you have a message waiting. So
Right.
we can have like notification, visual notifications of messages, visual notifications of messages in queue. What else could we do? How else might we? That's the word. How else might we?
um, I think that's enough.
Okay. How might we make tracking her progress easy and intuitive?
So like Janella initially said, a two-click rule again. So when you click on the home page, she can click on tracking.
Okay, what else?
Um,
Tracking her progress. Have you ever used an app
Oh,
before where you track your progress?
oh, I
yeah.
got a
So what are some features that'll make it
yeah.
easy and intuitive?
What about if we had like an image of her?
Yeah, that's a good
So if we
idea.
had like an image of her
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
like it shrinks
progress.
as she shrinks. Yeah.
Yeah, progress photos. That's a good idea. What else?
Um,
Auto calculations of weight and interest loss. Like she can, you know what I mean? Like, so she would enter like, what's your weight today? And then enter what's your weight 30 days later. And then it automatically calculates how much she lost.
okay.
Or what about an option where it tells her exactly what she needs to lose and where, like if she was
Yes,
to scan her body profile in.
that's awesome. Yeah. Feedback of what she needs to do and how and where and what she needs to focus on. Yeah. What else? But you guys get the idea, right? So the how might we?
Yeah.
So going back to the very beginning and then wrapping up what we're gonna do for homework. You guys have a lot of homework
Oh,
because well,
goody.
well, yeah, because you still did you map out all of your possible user flows?
Yes and no. I did it on paper, but I
That's
didn't do it
no
all on Figma.
on paper is all that's due right now anyway, so that's fine. But you mapped
Okay.
out every possible path.
Yeah, but I wanted to go over like how we did Angela's.
Oh, I want to do it too. I just
So
didn't know that it was possible for you to while you were in commute. But next week
mhm.
we're going over everything. So make sure you have it. We're going over yours and we're going over Angela's up to this point. So next week, the entire class, all of your stuff needs to be done. Like so all of the possible flows need to be completed, right? So all of you need to have at least one user flow for each path completed by next week. Your user stories, I'm sorry, your user interviews need to be completed by next week. You need to conduct at least, and you have to also make sure that the people you interview that they representation is there. So you need to identify like different ages, different races, different levels of technology in terms of what types of phones and devices they're using. If you can, I was telling Angela, I don't know if you heard or not, but I was suggesting maybe reaching out to different centers that focus on people with disabilities, let them know what you're doing and let them know that you are being trained in how to make sure online experiences are accessible with people with disabilities and ask if, you can interview maybe some of the people that they service, but that all has to be done by next week. Another thing is you have to create your user profiles. Another thing about the user profile is um you need to create more than, well, let's start off with one. We'll do the other ones together. May have at least one solid user profile, have at least one solid user story, and at least one solid problem statement. You need to clear. So let me go back through this so that this makes sense. I'm going to write it all down, but you guys have a whole lot of homework. So but we did most of it together. So one of the reasons I went through it is so that you would be very clear on what it's supposed to look like. So it should be easy because we did it together. So when you go through it, you should do exactly what we did in class. So going back through these phases. So your homework assignment, everything should be completed up to the ideate phase. Phases 1, 2, and 3 should be completed by the next time that we meet. So let's go over what you're supposed to do. The empathize phase, the same process that we went through together and formulating the questions that you need to ask the end users, you're going to do that. So remember, oh man, what happened to those questions? Here they are. So the same way, remember, so you're going to have your 3 categories, right? So you're going to make sure you follow this framework. If you create your questions on, tool, feature, application, usage, feedback. Remember, we started off with the general questions, which was like on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your overall experience? Were you able to successfully do whatever the task was? Everything we did today in class. Form your own questions. We did it based on FedEx. Were you able to select your shipment options? Right? If no, because remember the framework is identify every task. So you should have a task list, and then you should have the questions to support their experience completing that task. So for each one of your views, so when you're looking here, when you're stepping through the flow is they start and then they land on the welcome page. And then here, this is where they start making decisions. Do you want to log in or do you want to continue as a non-member? So you need to have an interview questions centered around that. And I don't know what yours is, Janella, but I know you can make the correlation. If they don't continue as a member, what's their experience here? Like, what are the call to actions and the tasks that are represented on this view? And then have interview questions formulated around that. So we went through the process of what that looks like when there is an existing product and what that looks like when their product does not exist. All right, so let me write this clearly. What's today's date? The 23rd? It's going by so fast.
Yeah, we had what? 4 more weeks left?
Yeah. You guys gotta finish this because yeah, you gotta finish. Okay. So your homework assignment is to complete all user flows, right? And then the second thing is you need to identify all tasks, CTAs, actions on each view within the flow. So create a list. And then you want to formulate interview questions for each view. And I'm sorry, for each task within each view, right? So that is your phase 1. Which is to empathize. Right? Then after you finish that, then you're going to interview at least 5 interviewees that represent diverse backgrounds to support equitable design. Right? Then you're gonna, so after you conduct those interviews, what's the second phase? What's phase 2? What is it?
Define.
Yeah, define. So once you do that, you're going to, oops. Oh my gosh. Once you do, I'm just forget it. You guys know it should be tabbed over. It's not at me. So once you complete that, you want to create a single, go back to here. Based on the research gathered from the empathize phase, which problems are most important and why? The most important outcome of this phase is to have a clear problem statement. So you want to answer these questions. Which problems are the most important and why? Oh my gosh. I'm trying to be quick in this, making it take more time. Right? So the next thing is you want to answer these questions. Which problems are the most important and why? The most important outcome, blah, blah, blah. You don't really need that. Well, yes, I'll keep it in there. And you also want to write a value proposition, which is why the user should use your solution and how it will benefit them. Any questions?
No.
Back to this. Hold on, let me go here. I skipped a step. After you conduct the interviews, you want to complete your empathy map. Complete empathy map. Be sure to answer the 5 empathy map questions, right? Based on your interview data. And what are the 5 questions? Right here. And then you want to write your user persona. Right? Here's an example. And then you want to write your user story. This is your, remember, follow this format. And yeah, write your problem statement. This is the template. So and that's the format for that. Any questions?
No.
And then finally, well, not finally, and then you're going to come up with possible solutions. But see, the solutions in the brainstorming technique are going to kind of be one and the same. So the first thing we're going to practice is coming up with solutions using the how might we brainstorming technique. So you'll move on to phase 3, which is ideate. But we're going to, this is not the only way. We're going to cover other ways next week, but for this week, this is more than enough. So one way is to use the, there's 4 different brainstorming techniques. This week, we're just focusing on how might we. So come up with possible solutions utilizing the how might, oh Lord, we, it's called HMW. Brainstorming technique. Yeah. And make sure you ask enough how might we questions. So you should have a how might we brainstorming session for each problem, well, for each issue stated in your problem statement. You know what I mean? So remember how we went through that when we were saying Kim is a middle-aged, busy career woman who needs, right? So the who needs part is where you start. Those are your key words for your ideation brainstorming process. Who needs personal training services that are easy to book, connect with her trainer and track her progress, and work at her own pace. So how might we? So the how might we questions are all centered around the what's inside of the blocks for who needs, right? So that's how we came up with how might we make online booking process faster? How might we make the online communication with her trainer feel personable? How might we make tracking her progress intuitive and easy? So your how might we statements need to reflect what your how might we questions. You need a question for everything that's identified in your problem statement that exists within the who needs to brackets. Does that make sense? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So this is your homework for this week. This really needs to be done. We don't have time for it not to be done. So make sure this is done thoroughly and not in a lazy way, because everything that this is, like I said, the end product is supposed to be
My portfolio, right?
your portfolio. So all of these documents translate to your portfolio.
This is like 20 hours of work.
It's awesomeness. I can't wait to see. So Janella, next week we're going to start off with going over so actually if you can take like a picture of your if you can take a photo of your pencil sketches and email them to me, that'd be good because then we can go over them. I'm gonna share a screen and we can go over and work through your prototypes. If you want to take a stab, can Janella hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Uh-huh. Yeah, if you want to take a stab at
Okay.
Figma, you can, but it's not required. If you want to take a stab at Figma, you can. If you can't, if you don't, that's fine. Just take a picture of your pencil sketches and email them to me so we can work through them in class.
Yeah, I did both. I did Figma, but I just didn't finish all of Figma because
Okay.
I know it needed one for each page. But then
Yeah.
after I started getting like too deep in, I started thinking I was doing too much, and I
Mhm.
got scared and backed out.
Okay.
So
So remember, it's real high level. Like, so you're not necessarily detailing, you're not detailing the details of what's in the page. So this is just all, think of this as like a map, like a Google map. So think about where they land. So they land here. Then, first they land at the welcome page. Then they land in the member area and they can choose if they want to go to the non-member area or the member area. Then they land on the login page. So if you think about it as landings, it'll stop you from going too deep. You're only pinpointing where they're landing, not the details of what they see
right.
once they get there.
Okay.
That'll help you not
Yeah, because
dive
I
too
had
deep.
started getting into that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so these are just landing pods. Think of the journey as what do they call it? Toe pads. You know how like a frog
Yeah.
jumps from, think of it as just landing pods. All
Uh,
you're doing is identifying the
lily
landing pod.
pads.
Lily pads, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
And but
So it's a
make
lot of pages. That's okay.
yeah, just so with your Figma, you can make it it can all exist in the same um you see how it goes on forever to the left and
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
it can your views, if it's the same project, they can exist, just separate them in spacing. So like if I zoom out of this, it's like this is the home view. This is what is this? The member view? I can't. This is the non-member path if they decide to book a service. So this is the book a service view. This was something that I did in class just for sake of demonstration. I can kind of get rid of it. I don't want to confuse. But I also made a copy too, so I didn't mess up your original, Angela. Yeah. So yeah, do it this way. So this will be like view one. And I can tell that it's a view because it should all start with the purple or whatever the start. The symbol should be the same, right? So I can tell this is a view because it starts with this symbol. This is another view because it starts with the circle symbol. This is an entry point. So do you guys have any questions about homework?
Mhm.
Not at the moment. But if we do, can we email you?
I'm going to tell you. You can email me, but I can't, my schedule during the week is so busy. I'll try my best to pay attention to it. But I can't I can't make any guarantees. So
Can we text you?
yeah. This my schedule is so busy that I don't want to make that commitment. It's better if you
So
can think of your
we can just
questions
deal with it.
during class.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna
But you
say
know what I
yeah,
can
deal
do
with it
though
during
is
class.
no, but you know what I can do? What I can do is schedule like a date throughout the week where we can meet midway so that if you do have questions, we can kind of meet up. So like you can kind of gather your questions and then you're going to ask me those questions midweek. We can do it that way.
I feel like that's a lot. I'll just wait till class.
Okay.
I
Right.
think 2 classes good.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
yes,
because that would still
homework.
be taking time out the day to schedule that.
Yeah. So let me make this bigger. So this is the homework for this week. But you can still email me. I'm not saying that I'm not going to check it. I'm just saying realistically, I know how my schedule is outside of.
Oh, I know. If I do have a question, I'll just write it down. And then when we go over it in class, then I'll make sure to bring it up so I don't forget.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So, and this is the reference you asked for. I'm gonna pull it up for that the paper prototyping.
Thank you.
That's it for this week. You guys have, but let me tell you, I'm so excited because now you're like now you're, well, you've been in it from day one, but this is the process. Like this is all coming together. So you're going
Okay.
through phase one, phase two, and phase
Thank you.
three.
Yay.
Yay.
Mhm.
All right. Well,
Yay.
do you guys have anything for me? Are you guys good?
No, we're good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, have a good trip, Janella. Be safe and have fun.
You have a great
Ha-
weekend. See
Thank you,
you
you
next
guys too.
Friday.
Have a good weekend.
Next Saturday.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.